10. Oh my goodness, this sucker is heavy. Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to Jesse's Garage. Boy, we're so excited to have you join the show today. Boy, we're really excited because we're coming at you with some big boy toys. Do you like big ratchets? Do you like ratchets? I love ratchets. I love anything ratcheting, screwdrivers or ratchets or whatever. As long as it turns and does that, makes that click, click, click noise, I love it. How about you? Do you like it? I'm sure you do. That's the whole reason why you're here, right? Well, I got to tell you, I've been collecting some big boy ratchets right along the way, and you know what? I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to do with all these ratchets? Well, I just love looking at them, and I think in the museum it's going to look really cool. But my goodness, I've been collecting a few here and there, but this last one that I just picked up a couple days ago, or just got in the mail a couple days ago, and I'll tell you that story in just a moment, it just took it way over the top. In fact, I'll tell you that story now. The reason why we're shooting this video is because one of our subscribers and watchers, Chris, you probably have read his comments. Chef Chris is what I always refer to him as because he's a chef down in Florida. Well, anyways, he sent me a Facebook post, and when he sent it to me, he says, man, check this out. And so I'm not even going to tell you what it is yet. There's a little bit of backstory on it, and I'll tell you the rest of the story when we get to it. Are you ready? Let me show you what we've been picking up as far as big boy toys or big boy ratchets, and let's go check it out and see what we got. Here we go. All right, well, let me tell you about my first haul real quick. So I seen a Facebook ad. He was like an hour and a half away from me, and my goodness, that's a long ways to drive. But anyways, I've been watching this Plomb ratchet, and he went through and he had it marked at one price, and then he was getting ready to move out of state, and he just marked it all the way down to 20 bucks. He said, come get this thing, get it out of my life. And I thought, man, I'm a buyer, I'll go. So I texted him, and man, he was gracious enough to hold it for me. So I went there and I picked up a few pieces, all for $20. Let me show you what I got first of all. One was a Challenger, and it's the 1856. So this is the Penance Corp. And so you can tell I haven't cleaned them up or anything. This was 20 bucks, not just the socket, but everything I'm going to show you. And so we'll put that socket right there. That was one of them. He had another big socket that he threw in, another Challenger. So this is 1852. What did we say? 1856. So we got the next size down or so, however that naming convention is. Got another Challenger, which on these 3/4 inch drives, I do not have that. But this is 1848. So man, how cool is that, right? Let's see what this one is here. So this is another Challenger, 1836. So man, loving that. In fact, I just picked it up and I haven't even looked at it since. 1834. So my goodness, all of these are Challengers so far. Well, except for this one. This one's a Cornwell, and man, I love some Cornwell, right? And so 15 16ths in 3/4 inch drive. So that's cool. We'll put that one just a little bit over. My last socket that I got, check this out, was a Her brand. My goodness, love that thing. Look at the knurling on it. That thing is going to clean up nice, right? And so another 3/4 inch socket there. So we'll put those just right over there. So I got that, and then while I was there, he threw in a few more other things, and check out what he threw in. He threw in this extension that we have right here, and man, that is nice. It's 3/4 inch drive extension. And I tell you what, we love some Plomb around here. Let's measure this bad boy out. It's almost 8 inches as we go through. And man, that is nice, isn't it? Look at that. So that's going to be the 5661, it looks like. Can't wait to throw that in the bath and check out how that's going to turn out. From there, he also threw in a sliding T-bar. And so the sliding T-bar is here, and I am looking at it right here on the head, and it's a Penance. So it matches this set right up here. And so, wow, what do you guys think? Man, that is nice, right? And so maybe we'll put that just right there. And so we got this pin-in sliding T-bar. We got a Plomb. We got the pin-ins or the Challenger socket set and a couple extras. And then this is the whole reason why I went up there. I couldn't read what any of this was, so I had no idea. I just seen a pile of stuff. But my goodness, I went up there for this. So it was the Los Angeles, and it was the Proto. And so the 5649, and it's the 3/4 inch Proto ratchet. Now I have this in Plomb, and I don't remember if I have this in a Proto, but I definitely have this in a Plomb. And I just thought to myself, man, my goodness, I need to go and pick that up for 20 bucks. I get all of this, and man, this sucker just is nice. Look at that. There's nothing wrong with this bad boy. It turns freely. And so I just thought to myself, wow, how can I lose on this deal? 3/4 inch ratchet, extension with the Plomb, pin-in sliding T-bar. We got some sockets, some other sockets. Man, 20 bucks. Wow, I had to drive to go get it, but it was $20, and I thought, man, that is a great deal. But you tell me, you think I did good on this one? Would you have gone and gotten it for $20? Put that in the comments below. All right, now from there, let's see here. I went through, and I've been looking for this ratchet for a long, long time. And I forget where I picked it up at, but I picked it up along the way here, and check this out. It is a Hercules. Now, James over at Bigfoot, I think he went to Jacktown. Well, he went this year, but he also went last year. And he picked up one, I believe. And so this is no Bonney. And so with this Hercules on here, man, I've been looking for this bad boy forever. And finally, I found one. Now, this one here has that push through. And so, let's see. Yep, I had to push on it to get through there. But that's how it goes, right? And so, see if I can get it again. There we go. And so that's how you reverse it back and forth like that. And so, but my goodness, look at that. Just the fact that it says Hercules. Now it's cool that it's a Bonney for sure, right? But just the fact that it says Hercules is just bad to the bone. I love that thing. And so I picked that up. What do you guys think about that one? Man, it's a 4298. It looks like over here on the model number. I love it, love it, love it. Man, all of this is a great ad. You know, these are some big boy toys that we're dealing with here. All right, let me show you my last one before I get to the main event, right? And so check this one out. I seen this one online, and I just thought to myself, my goodness, I got to have this because I've been collecting a little bit of this brand that I have not displayed on the channel yet. And so as we go through, check out this handle. My goodness, it kind of reminds me of this one just a little bit, right? It has that hollow center. But as you come through, check it out. It's a Truth. And so it's a 3/4 inch Truth ratchet. But not only that, the reason why I fell in love with it, not only for that little stamping that's there, but check out this head. Man, is that a beautiful piece or what? Wow, look at this. Look at this, look at this. And so here you are, left and right. You can flip it left and right, and you can get it to turn one way or the other. And wow, look at that. My goodness. I love that bad boy. Man, I don't have one with this round head, and look how thin it is here. Man, but that gear, I can just tell, I can just imagine that gear being so big inside there. Wow, what do you think of that bad boy? Now, I don't know, was it that color maybe at one time? Or that doesn't quite look like rust. So it looks like maybe it was painted in there. I wonder if that was the deal. I need to research that. Man, would that be cool if they were painted in there? But what do you think about that Truth ratchet? Now, as I go through and I measure this one out, let's see here. This one is 18 inches. And incidentally, that Hercules is 20, and that Proto Los Angeles is 20. And so that kind of gives us an idea of what we're looking at here. And so, man, what do you think so far? You like that? I love it. I am totally 100% in love with that. Well, check this out. So Chef Chris, remember down in Florida? Well, he sent me a text message on a Facebook marketplace ad, and he says, man, check this beast out. And so I went through and I clicked on it, and I thought, oh, my mouth instantly start watering, and I thought to myself, oh my goodness, I've been looking for that forever, and I just can't find it. And so, or if I do find it, they're crazy expensive. And so he sent me this Facebook ad, and it was $50. And so I was real quiet. You'd be proud of me. I was telling Chef Chris, I said, man, Chris, you should buy that. You should add it to your collection. And he said, man, I got so much stuff. I don't know if I need it. And so I don't. What am I going to do with it? I have nothing like that. And I said, okay. I said, well, sorry. And he goes, man, maybe you should buy it. And I said, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll buy it. Can I send you some money? I got so excited that he even made that offer. Well, get this. I sent Chris some money. He went down and he bought it for $50. And then he shipped him some money for postage to ship it off to me. And so, man, that guy, he is awesome. Chef Chris, thank you so much for that again. Well, here's one of the pieces that was in it. And so you might see this big old extension here. If this is 18 inches, then this is an 18-inch extension. But get this. It is a 5863 Plomb. And so, wow, look at that. Now, what makes this so special, I don't even know if I can even display it here, but it's a 1-inch drive. Now, if you're familiar with the naming conventions of Plomb, the 5800 series are the 1-inch sizing, and the 56s are the 3/4, and then the 54s are the 1/2 inch, and so on. But anyways, my goodness, that came part of that bundle right there. So it was just two pieces. So it was a Plomb extension, which I'm excited to have. First of all, just the fact that it's Plomb, but my goodness, check this bad boy out. The 5849 made in the USA Plomb 1-inch ratchet. I can't even begin to tell you how big this bad boy is here. In fact, let me move some of my stuff out of the way here because I want to show you. I have an idea at the end of the video. We're gonna do something different, but just to give you an idea. The width of this bad boy is 3 7/8 inch, almost 4 inches wide. 4 inches. Now compared to this one, which this one is going to be very similar to the other one, this is 2.5 inches. And that's huge. That's 3/4 inch. And then this is our 1-inch drive. Wow, look at how beastie this bad boy is. It is huge. I can't even get it in the frame. Literally, look at that. I can't even get it in the frame. Oh my goodness. I am so excited. I'm like a big old boy in a candy store, man. I am in love with this bad boy. And the reason why I'm in love with it is because this completes my collection on the different sizes of ratchets that Plomb made. I've been looking for this bad boy. And you know what? The camera doesn't even do it justice. This thing weighs a ton. This thing is beastie. So here's my thought. My thought is, okay, these are the big bad boys I've been collecting along the way that I haven't put on the videos yet. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to clean a couple of these up. So I'm going to clean up this Plomb right here. And so I'm going to clean up these sockets and throw that kind of stuff in the bath. I won't be able to have enough time to do this, I don't believe. But I thought, let me take you along for the journey. Let's go clean this 1-inch up. And part of the reason why we want to do that, by the way, is because when I come in here and it turns one way very well, but when I flip it over, it doesn't turn so well. And so there's something wrong inside there, which, you know, it doesn't make us no mind. We're going to go through and just we're just going to go through and put it on display anyways. And so, but notice that the guy that who was selling it, he did go through and oil it up, trying to get everything loosened up. But nevertheless, we're going to see if we can get it operational and get it cleaned up so we can put it on display in the museum. Wow, what do you think about that? All right, enough talking, enough excitement. Let's go and start to tear this bad boy out. So let me clean all this out, and I'm going to take you along for the journey to see what's inside. Because have you ever seen inside a 1-inch 5849 Plomb ratchet? I haven't. Maybe you have. but let's go and see what we can find. All right, I'll be right back. What do you think about this truth, by the way? All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I got it all cleared out. I got the ratchet right here. Let's see if we can bust it loose or not. Okay, so see if I can go through and, oh, and I forgot about that. That has that push out handle. Let's see if I can push it all the way down. That push out anvil that way. So I can't. Okay, so we're just gonna leave it right there and let's see if we can break this loose. Ah, that was easy. Okay, good. We love easy, so that's awesome. Looks like it's kind of crooked though. Oh my goodness, it is. Look at that. Oh my goodness, it's bent and it's crusty. I don't know what we're gonna find in this bad boy, but if not, I guess we're gonna have a wall hanger, if nothing else. And so we'll go through and undo that. Check that out. Oh my goodness, do we got a challenge ahead of us or what? Crazy, right? All right, so we got that. Let me get a paper towel real quick. Okay, so we got that right there. Let's see what we find on this side. I don't know how we're going to be able to knock this out, but we're going to try. Let's see here. Okay, I feel the plate coming off right there, so that part is good. So that's giving way. So let's see if we can kind of, here we go. There we go. Man, check that out. That's how much gunk is in there. Got all over me. All right, so we got that part. We got the face plate. Oh my goodness, somebody put a bunch of grease in this bad boy. Look at this. Oh my goodness, do you see that? I don't know if it just came apart like that or that's the reason why it's locked up. That is crazy. Wow, look at that. That is messed up. This is the worst I've ever seen on any ratchet I've ever taken apart. And man, my goodness, you know I've taken apart a lot of ratchets. That is crazy. Are you getting the sense of that? Look at that. Man, I should almost get me a depth gauge to see how thick that is on there. Wow, look at that. That is nuts. All right, so we got that. Now, you can see why some of these screws are probably bent up because of some of the mechanism that's here. So now we got the gear. We got to push this anvil through this portion here. And so I'll work on that. I got to press that button in, that ball detent in just a little bit. But let's look at the teeth and see what we're up against here. So some of them are a little sharper than others. So, but overall, none of them are missing. And so if we kind of rotate it around like this, hopefully you're getting this on your computer, your phone, your tablet, whatever you're watching on. So there we are. Man, we're going to throw this in the bath and get this bad boy cleaned up. Look at that. Wow. Guys, there's so much better ways to do this. We don't have to go through this mechanism right here. All right, but anyways, there's that. Okay, so we got the paws. Let's make sure they're in great condition. Man, look at that. That is wild, right? And so, all right, so this is one way to do it. Yeah, I can't even judge on anybody because everybody's a little bit different, but I'm going to show you my way of doing it. Wow, look at that. Man, I couldn't make this up better for a video of just how nasty, dirty these things are. All right, so there's one. Let's, man, I can't hardly grab it. And let's see here. This one's the other one. Wow. All right, well, you know what? At least we're not dealing with rust likely. So that's a good part. Now this one here, man, that is just crunchy. Man, I could just tell. All right, well, maybe that'll clean up good too. I mean, you would think that it would kind of be preserved in here. And so there we go. Wow. All right, so there's that's what it looks like. And just to give you an idea here, let's see if I can pick it up. My hands are all dirty. Let's see if I can clean them off real quick. But I wanted to show you this just to give you an idea of what the condition of this bad boy is. So if I pick it up and I bring it closer to the camera, and so, my goodness, can you see that? Look at that. I'm going to just scrape it away with my finger. Wow, look at that. That is wild to me. I love it, love it, love it. I love a challenge. I love this. All right, so we're gonna go through and get this bad boy cleaned up. I'm gonna wipe it down first of all, and then we're gonna throw it in the bath, and then we're gonna give it a little bit of polish, and then I'm gonna show you my way that I service a ratchet, and see if you agree. You know, if you do them like this, well, I guess more power to you. But my way seems like works pretty good for me. But you know what? Who am I to judge, right? So a lot of you guys have been around the block a lot longer than I have. So all right, so there you go. We got an initial wipe down here. Man, I can tell I'm gonna have to change my water after this one. And so, all right, there we go. All right, let me go and throw this in the bath. You guys have seen me do that. And incidentally, sometimes we get some new people on the show. And so what I do is I throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner. I'm gonna turn it up to about 50, 51 degrees Celsius. And then I'm gonna turn on the ultrasonic vibrator portion of it, and we're gonna clean this all up. We'll get all this grease and junk out of here, and then we'll go from there. All right, so let me go and do that. Next time you see me, I'm going to be digging it out of the bath. Here we go. Okay, we are back. All right, so this thing's been running probably for, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. So we're going to go ahead and turn this off. Let me flip it off back here so we can kind of quiet it down. What's crazy is that whenever I put this in here, my ratchet is too big. It's so big it won't even fit. And this is the 30 liter. This is the biggest one that I typically ever get, and so for it to not even fit, I don't even have words. But nevertheless, let's see what we can find here. So we're just trying to get all this junk off of here, and so notice we've got some buildup on here, which is easy. We can go through and get that cleaned up. Let me do one thing. I'm going to grab a brush here and make sure that this is about as good as we're going to get it. So let's kind of, you can still see there's still a bunch of it laying around there. And so we're going to go through and just kind of give it a quick little cleaning and probably throw it right back in the bath, I would imagine. So let's see if I can clean that off just a little bit. And the sucker's heavy, I got to tell you. All right, so let me grab one other brush real quick. Let's see if we can kind of get in there a little deeper. Yeah, you can see how much better that is, right? So we want to get all that old grease out of here. So we want a clean slate to be working with for sure. All right, let me flip it around this way real quick. So we can get in here, get this bad boy cleaned up as well. That little lever is going to shine up nice, so that's good. Got to get inside these screw holes, these recess portions in here. All right, so I think I'm probably going to rinse it off and then call this one good as far as the degreasing aspect of it here. All right, and so let me show you what it looks like here if I can get all my junk out of here. So there we are. That's what we're looking at there. And so as we go through and look at it, it's way better than what it was, right? Can you tell how big that sucker is? Look at the size of my hand. Jeez. Now, I wanted to show you something here that I noticed. Let's see if I can find it here. We're just going to compare it. And maybe not. I was almost thinking that it was broken, but they look identical, don't they? I mean, maybe they are broken, but it's kind of, yeah, it kind of looks like that would be broken, right? So I don't know how that's going to go inside there, and that may be part of the reason why they came out. Okay, so we are done with that. Let's go through and just let the rest of these pieces still soak and get cleaned up while we go work on the ratchet. Okay, we are here at our buffing wheel, so we're going to use our fiber wheel to go through and try to clean up this ratchet just a little bit. So let's kind of run through that. I probably won't spend a lot of time with it, but we'll show you just a little cut of that. All right, here we go. Okay, we are back. Man, check this out. I thought I'd give you a little closer look while this thing is apart here. My goodness, that sucker is broken. And so not only is it broken there, but it's broken here. Because you might remember, in fact, let me see if I can grab this ratchet here real quick. So on the ratchet portion that we have right here, this is supposed to be, I'm trying to do this with one hand. So let me get that thing swung over for just a moment. I think it's there. So this is supposed to be right here, if you recall. But see, there's nothing, it fits in place there, but nothing's holding it there. So that's the reason why it just slides out. So the little piece that hung down, that's what broke off on both sides. My goodness, what do you have to do to break a big old massive pawl like that? Well, first of all, I think it might have been maybe hollow or something. Look at that. See if I can get it in some better light. And so is that crazy or what? But anyways, I'm kind of stuck. So I made a few phone calls. I have a buddy, Stuart, you might remember him. He went through and built me that custom boombox with the fist and the wrench right up front. So I called him up and said, hey, Stuart, do you happen to have a welder still? I don't know if we can do it, guys, but I'm heading over there now, and we're gonna see what we can do to build it up. If I can get it to build up and put me a little prong down here, then I think I can shape it into the correct size. Well, that's what we're up against, because honestly, I don't know where in the heck I'm gonna get some paws for a 1-inch Plomb ratchet, unless you guys know. Well, and I don't have time to wait. So let me see what we can do and kind of go from there. All right, I'll see if I can film some of that, if Stuart's all right with me doing that, and see if we can rebuild these bad boys. All right, talk to you soon. All right, guys, I told you we were gonna come over here to meet Stuart. Man, Stuart, the myth, the legend, the man himself. Boy, he is gonna help us out. So what we decided, oh, by the way, say hi.
Hey, how's it going? You too.
So what we decided was we're just gonna try to build up a little bit of a nub on this bad boy here. So I don't have a welder. I sold my welder. Here's the piece. So I think we're just gonna do a real rough weld on it, and then I'm gonna go dress it up at home and see if we can get this bad boy back in service. So we're gonna get a couple of shots of Stuart doing it, and then away we go. Okay, we are done. Man, check that out. Wow, so we at least built it up. It doesn't look pretty, but by the time we get done with it, it is gonna be sweet. Stuart, thank you so very much. Man, do you help save this ratchet, because I don't know where in the heck I'd get a part for that. So,
Hey, no problem.
I really appreciate you. All right, so here's the rough weld. I told him, Stuart, that I didn't want anything fancy, just build it up, give me something to work with. I can always take it back for another touch-up. But let's see what we can make out of this. Ready? All right, so I'm gonna use my 1x30 belt here. I'm gonna see if I can go through and kind of bring this down. I might even use my little angle grinder on it just a little bit. We'll see how fast this attacks it. If not, I'll use that other one. All right, this is what we have right here. And so it's not perfect. It's not all the way filled in, but it is pretty doggone close. Let's take it over there to the ratchet and let's see if it actually fits in there. I may have to detail this out just a tiny little bit. In fact, let me do that first real quick. I want to put a little more detail right in there. All right, let's see what this looks like here. You can see as we get going, it is not perfect by any means, but we just need it to be functionable, right? So remember, this groove right here goes towards this side. So does it even fit? First of all, is the first question. And so let me get this thing arranged. And so we can tell that it's not fitting in there quite right. So that means that I got to do a little bit more adjustments on here. So let me go do that now. Okay, we are back here at the toolbox top. We're going to go through and check out what we have to work with and kind of go from there. Now, just for reference, I went through and I took apart that 3/4 inch ratchet just so we could see what it would be like or what that part looks like originally. It looked like this. And so I couldn't remember exactly the shape, but now that I see it, it kind of makes sense where it's at. So I couldn't replicate it exactly. And so, and here is the reason being. Here's what I came up with. And so I went over to Stuart's house and we went through and welded a piece on there. And so he built it up to the point where I could shape it. Now, as we go through and look at it, I only had one shot. So Stuart, he was working and he had to get back to work, A, and then B, they were getting ready to head out of town. And so he did it exactly the way I wanted him to, but if I had a welder, man, I wish now I wouldn't have sold my welder, but I would have filled in these little voids like that. I would have broke open this so I could see more of the exact shape. But nevertheless, I've tested it out. It does work. So that's one. Here's the other one. And so I went through and already put it in here just to try it. So Chris, boy, I got to tell you, that guy, he just phenomenal. He went through and he felt bad about the ratchet not working, and he got online, been trying to find me some parts, and my goodness, do you realize that these doggone, a kit like this runs like $108 or something like that? And so I said, hey, you know what? Don't even worry about it. We got it covered. We're going to figure it out one way or the other. So that's what we did. So let's put this bad boy together and let's see what we can come up with, all right? So I'm going to take my my super lube that I always use here. Love this. So this is the go-to for me. So it may be for you as well. But I'm just going to put a little coating on here just to kind of get it all sealed up, as far as, I shouldn't say sealed, but I want to go through and make sure that everything is lubricated in here, and also it'll help prevent any rust as well. So that part is good. All right, so give me a second to get this part done. And it's important to note that right underneath here, get it all around where that selector switch is, because that's going to slide it back and forth, right? And we want it to be smooth as well. And so, all right, give me a second and I'll be right back. Okay, so we got that part done. Let's go through and throw some inside these teeth for the gear and get this bad boy lubed up as well, because we want it to just go smooth. All right, and I'm going to do a little bit in here as well. And man, you can see how much better that gear turned out, right? And so it is just so much cleaner. And I really had to work at this bad boy too in order to get it to really get cleaned up. So they really had a number done on that bad boy. Again, we're going to take our pliers. We're going to come right underneath it. Don't put a lot of pressure on it. We just want it to get down in there just like that. And so let's go through and try to put a little bit of this oil in here. So we're just going to take a little drop, see if I can get it on a camera here. I'm trying to do this both hands that way. So I'm just going to drop it down just like that. And I'm just going to let it soak in as much as I can into that area. All right, so that one is good. Let's do the same thing here. In fact, we'll put the oil on here first. Might be a little bit easier for me. All right, so let's see what we can do to get this one to drop in there as well. All right, you see how it just kind of floated in there, right? And so that's good. So we want that just like that there. All right, so everything seems to be working really well there, so we love that. Let's just see if I can punch it through here. There we go. All right, so there's one, and then punch it through again. So let's see if I can kind of get it this way real quick. There we go. And there we go. All right, so there's where we're at. So we got that in there. Now it's meant to be kind of tight, right? So in order for it to really stay in place that way. So we got all of that. So that part is going to go right in here, obviously, right? And so now let's go through and throw a little bit of lube on the rest of the parts, and let's put this bad boy together here. So, and remember the indented side, that side actually goes towards the inside, right? So that way it's fully open. Put that one right over here. Now that one's not sitting tight yet, and the reason being is because the selector switch is on that direction. Now I'm going to take this spring, slide that forward since the selector switch is on the other side, and I'm just going to push up against the back, push it down, and away it goes. Now you'll notice that's how it locks in. You see that perfectness right there? Hopefully you can see that. See if I can lift it up a little bit closer for you. That's how it locks in, just like that. All right, so since we're here, we're going to flip that way, and then let that slide down and do the same thing with our other spring. So let me do that and I'll be right back. So let's go ahead and put that on there. So our faceplate cleaned up pretty all right. I think this side was probably the inside, this side's probably the outside. So we're going to try to put that in place. Let's see if we can do it. Move that around. Perfect. So we got that. Now I had to go and buy a couple screws. So because remember, those screws were pretty bad off, right? So let me go grab those. All right, so I got me a couple new screws. Now what was interesting about this is that when I went to buy the screws, what was interesting is that they did not have the exact size. And so because they didn't have that size, it really made it pretty difficult to get the perfect height for ourselves. So they had one that was just shortly smaller, which is this one here, shorter, I mean, or they had one that was going to be just slightly longer. And so I didn't want the length, I don't think, but let's see, because this is the first time me putting the screws all the way in that way. So let's see what we come up with here. Let's turn it and let's see if it actually works or not. Now this bad boy's retired, so it's not ever going to see real work like it had in the past, to the point where it got broken, right? And so we're just trying to bring it a place in the museum and make it go like that. So here we go, and wow, I don't know if can you guys hear that? All right, now the big thing is, does it work the other way? So if I flip it that way, oh my goodness, it works! It works! Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Chris. Man, you guys are the bomb. And so my selector switch goes back and forth that way, and so easy peasy, man. And that sucker is smooth, by the way. Wow, can you hear that? Man, I just love that sound. And so, all right, that's what I got for the cleanup on this. I'm glad we were able to salvage it, because when I seen that it was broken, or noticed that it was broken, my goodness, it just kind of broke my heart that way. All right, well, I tell you what, let me go through and finish up this other 3/4 inch ratchet, put that together real quick, and then we'll show you what we did all together. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, before we end it, I wanted to kind of show you the ratchet just a little bit. My goodness, now I didn't do any bluing in here. This is just the way it naturally came out. But I'm thinking, I kind of wonder if I should have done some bluing in here just to kind of make it pop a little bit. But just keeping with it being natural, that's what it looks like right there. And so you come around and voila. So this bad boy is clean, clean, clean now. And like I said, it works wonderful now. And so, Wow, man, this sucker's heavy. I gotta tell you, I probably ought to put some, put it on a scale and to see how big this sucker is. But like I said, this is almost 4 inches right on the head up here. Wow, what do you think about that? Is that a beaut or what? Now remember, I cleaned up that that 3/4 inch, and I wanted to put it over here just to give you a comparison. Now this is the Proto that I cleaned up, that I showed you in the beginning of the video, but that just kind of gives you an idea of the difference between the two. Now, in comparison, now I haven't cleaned this one up, but I also wanted to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like on a 1/2 inch drive. And so that 3/4 inch compared to that 1/2 inch. Wow, is that crazy or what? Now, if we push in the 3/8 inch drive, and you can see how much shorter it even becomes even yet. And then you throw in the 1/4 inch drive. This is the progression or the line that they came up with at that time. Wow, what do you think about that? Man, it seems like there should be one right in here, huh? There probably was a long handle 1/2 inch, which I don't think I have. I have to look into that and see. But my goodness, what do you think about those bad boys? Or let's rearrange this just a little bit, just to give you a head comparison instead of a length comparison. If I move all of this over here, and let's see what it looks like now. So let me grab my camera just a little bit and kind of position you in this direction here. In fact, I'll take it off the mount and then kind of give you a close-up view. Wow, what do you think about those? Man. So that kind of gives you an idea lengthwise from head to head. Now this head is sticking out a little bit more, but you get the drift of what we're trying to do here, right? And so how beautiful is that? Now we got the complete set as far as a 1/4 inch all the way up to the 1 inch drive. Pretty remarkable, I think. So I love that. All right, so we got that part there. And so I wanted to go through and also give you an update on some of the other ones. Remember that 1 inch drive? Well, it also came with this this big old long extension. Oh my goodness! So we got all the rust out of it. I haven't quite given it the final details, so I'm still going to do that. But at least we got it all cleaned up in the bath, and away we go that route. So that'll sit right in here, I think. There we go. Now remember, the 3/4 inch Proto came with this 6 inch Plomb, and so my goodness, we got that one cleaned up, and so we got all that descaling, that rust off and such like that. And then of course, remember that Pennant's Challenger sliding T-bar. So here we are, we got this one cleaned up as well. So got everything all oiled up that way. And then as we get going, check out the sockets. Man, they cleaned up really well. And so we put that just right over there. We got the next one that's right over here. And so I haven't put the final cleaning on them as far as like an oil or anything like that. But I just wanted to go through and at least get this video cranked out since it's been a few days. But again, we got those. We got 4 more sockets to go, but they all cleaned up really well. And this is the last of the Challenger sockets that we got in that setting that way. So put those just right there. And then our last two, you might remember that Cornwell. Man, look how nice that cleaned up, right? And so I still got to do a little bit of detail in there, but that's going to be a really nice piece. That her brand was in a bad shape in all kinds of bad ways, but it's not perfect, but at least we got it somewhat cleaned up. Again, I need to clean the inside and then go from there. But that kind of gives you an idea of what that turned out to be like as well. All right, guys, that's what we have for you. This 1 inch Plomb. Excited about that, even though we were bummed out in the beginning because it was broken. We got it back in service. We reserviced this Proto, got it cleaned up, and then this is the comparison as to the lineup. I hope you enjoyed that part. Let me scoot this over just a little bit. You can get a bigger, a little bit more fuller view of what we had to work with today. All right, let me stop right here. Let's pause the video and wrap this bad boy up. Okay, we are back. Man, what do you guys think about that? You know, that big old 1 inch Plomb, that is crazy, isn't it? Oh my goodness. That sucker, I weighed it actually. It weighs 11 and a half pounds. Now, you know, I guess I just don't have a good perspective for that because it felt more like 20, 25 pounds when I'm holding it and walking around with the doggone thing. I guess I need to go to the gym and start working out or something, right? Well, my goodness, I am so excited that we were able to land that. Chef Chris, thank you so much for looking out for me and giving me that lead and going and picking it up and actually packaging it and shipping it. Oh my goodness, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate you for that. And then, of course, that $20 haul. What do you guys think about that? Man, with that Proto 3/4 inch ratchet, the string of Challenger pennants, sockets, the Cornwell, the Herbrand, and then the extensions. Wow, I love that. And then we can't forget, man, how about my big old Hercules? Man, that is bad to the bone. I love it, love it, love it. So it's the first one for the garage here, so we're excited about that. And then, what can we say? Man, look at that. Is that a thing of beauty, right? So this Truth ratchet that we have here, it is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Love it, love it, love it. We have that selector switch. It's kind of different. Everything is just different about this whole thing than what we have in any of our other ratchets. And I love it. And just that simple badging right there, Truth, out of this world. Man, that is fantastic. So we love that. Anyways, that's what we got for you guys. We thought we'd entertain you with some big boy toys and let you see what we're playing around with in the garage here. I'm really excited about that haul. Of course, minus a 1/2 inch, 3/8 and 1/4 inch. Those go back in the drawer. But that's what we have for you. If it's your first time here, make sure you hit subscribe. Please do me a favor, hit that like button. It goes a long ways. It tells YouTube, hey, people are liking this video. So we really appreciate you for that. And until next time, we'll see you on the next one.